So to start off, I actually did not want to make a tier list like this at first because I literally just made one like a few days ago for this guy's release, Tech UI Goku, right? And I did a full tier list for him. If you want to, see that tier list in effect in terms of how I usually do tier lists, because it's going to kind of be a little different, feel free to go ahead and check that out where I kind of go more in depth about that specifically. So, since I just made that tier list, though, you would be thinking, okay, you're making another one so soon, why didn't you just wait for this? I originally did not think I was going to do one for this character, and I was going to wait until, like, maybe the part 2 LR drops. But this guy is really, really good, and I think this guy deserves its own video, its own attention. Secondly, I need to pre-record a bunch of these videos for the fact that I'm going to be just like gone, right? I might not even be able to cover the global stream that's going to be happening later today. Maybe I'll be active on Twitter about it, but like I may not be able to like stream it and make a video on it covering what's going to happen. I'll be at Anime Expo. If you see me there, feel free to say hi, I guess, probably not going to be common. Because I'll be at the Sparking Zero thing if you spot me. Anyways, what we're going to be doing for this specific video is I'm going to be talking about 17 in general, and we're going to rank him across this list, right? So I'm going to go 17 versus Blue Falcon and Evolution, 17 versus Bootank, 17 versus Broly, etc., etc., and we'll see how high I would put 17 on this list and why I would keep him at a specific spot. Because this is kind of going to be, again, more of like an update to the tier list rather than me making a new version of the tier list, if that makes sense. If you do like this format even better than what I usually do, though, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I think this could be like an interesting kind of thing where it's more of an update rather than, me making an entire tier list, right? And it's me explaining more in depth about why I like this character and how I like them compared to other characters, right? Anyways, this character is really dumb, right? With the full Universe 7 reps team, it is going to be, extremely easy to get that, by the way. They do have 52% reduction, and I find, especially them as a like slot 2, slot 3 floating support character, the amount of support they give is also just really just like impactful, right? This 30% 2-turn support, they give 30% support for the turn if like your floating characters, like, I don't know, even the in androids, right? I've had the in androids because of this support eat normals better from a lot of bosses, funny enough, or like some of our floating units, maybe even SJUI Goku's a floating character. They like all these characters are able to eat these attacks so much better because of this like multiple turn support. This extra support here is really good. This guy gives support by grabbing rainbow key spheres as well, which is also a nice little thing. I feel like they're just like extremely good tanking. I mean, these guys were able to take Cellmax's super turn 1. I think 79% mine was. I don't even think we had the Android links active. Correct me if I'm wrong, but took it for about 300k, and that super hits for 2.5 mil turn 1, right? That's just them like straight from the gate. Really, really awesome. I think you can get these guys to take like to eat every single super attack in the game at this point, right? And again, Reps to Universe 7 is such an easy category, right? I mean, like half of this character list, like in the top 10 LRs, right? Well, let's take a look here. Reps to Universe 7, Reps to Universe 7, Reps to Universe 7, Universe 7 reps here. And then even some of these other characters that are like very recent but still really good. We have SJUI Goku's EZA, which is just out on global, another representative of Universe 7 character. We have in androids. I think in androids are pretty good as well. They are also another Universe 7 reps character that is really good. I think Golden Frieza 17 is going to get an EZA soon. Another reps character. It's possible these guys get a super EZA, right? This guy, AJ Blue Cow, can get a super EZA soon. Angel Frieza, maybe he gets an EZA soon. I've seen some people go for this guy. I guess he's not like the absolute zero option. I don't really like him though. But I know, like, and androids are still really nice as well. We could get sub EZAs, I think, for Gohan and Piccolo, and then the 17 and Frieza. Actually, like, these guys I skipped completely in my like who will EZA video, but these guys right here could actually fit that very well. So I mean, I just like the best team in the game is basically Reps Universe 7 / superheroes. The only downside, these guys are not on superheroes, but not really that big of a deal. Incredible character. I mean, again, since they are restricted to the one team, them being only on like 4 teams don't really matter as much. I think that it would be nice if we have this kind of caliber character on other teams, but in terms of their performance, right, we can't ignore how strong their performance is on top of everything else. So okay, I mean, it's pretty obvious they do make this list, so I do actually have them above Luke Haken, Goku, Evolution Vegeta. I think the reason why I have him above this guy is this guy doesn't do as much damage as Blue Falcon and Evolution Vegeta does, but I think they do everything else better, right? They just have so much superior support. These guys' Rainbow Key Spheres is really helpful for the androids for sure, or the Team Universe 7, right? But like these guys are just so much consistent with their tankiness. And then the multi-turn support just affects the team so much. They're also supporting here the entire rotation, right? I just find these abilities and the fact that like I don't have to worry about like, okay, well I do want to grab Rainbow Keysters with them, but I don't have to worry about RNG with these guys compared to, you know, Blue Falcon Evolution, which I kind of do have to worry a little bit about RNG. Like I can get super 4 normals and then like maybe only got 3 Rainbow Key Spheres, and then it's like these guys could lose to a super attack, right? That can happen. But these guys like just make your entire team just so much more tankier. It gets all events right because of this ability. The support here just really good. Their active skill could also even support with Ki, which is really cool, right? The one thing I would say this guy is probably again a little better in is, like I said, damage, and then the debuffs are nice as well, but I don't think that's enough to really have me put that character overall better than this character. I do find this character just to be a stronger version overall, and you know, they're also not reliant on like getting a large amount of orbs in the field, right? You just need a couple of Rainbow Key Spheres, and the damage they do is also still pretty good, right? I mean, they shoot at like 20 mil attack stats, then they do a guaranteed additional super attack for like another 12 to 15 mil, and then they could do another one if you have the hidden potential system, which would actually probably hit closer to like 15, 16, 17 mil because of this massively raised attack plus this right here, and then they're supporting the floater character potentially more. It's just very nasty, so I just think these guys don't really match up to that. I also would say these guys are better than Bootanks right here. I think Bootanks is going to be like obviously the better slot 1 character, and that's one thing Bootanks has above this character. That plus some healing is nice. Bootanks does have like a seal and the notification. I feel like while the notification is again a decent thing, the seal is not something you're going to really see too useful often. But I think the biggest thing is that the androids are just better turn 1, right? And I think androids rival what Buhan could do potentially. Like Buhan on turn like 7 would be better than these guys, but I think these guys are just better throughout the entire fight. Again, they provide more to the team overall, and yeah, that's really it. I think again, this guy, his real value that he has above them is being a slot 1 god once he's like really stacked up and everything. But I think, you know, this guy, it's not like he loses stats or anything. He's just as good as he is in long events and short events, and he gets the job done just fine. So I think that's the biggest reason why I have him over the Boo Ultimate Gotenks as well. So again, we can move this guy higher up here. Now Broly is another thing where I think it's just similar. The reason why I like Broly above Boo Gotenks is, again, I think Broly just has a better leader skill. I do like that Broly is also supporting all allies, right? He also does provide some support here. But again, it's just I'm sorry, y'all, just another thing where we're just getting so many of these fights that are just shorter now. Like we had like good decent run and still some pretty difficult fights that last longer than usual, like 3 to 5 face fights. These are the wrong events, right? Again, we have the movie bosses like Red Zone boss rush right here, which is really good. We got the Gogeta Blue Supreme Battle Spectacle, Beast Gohan Supreme Battle Spectacle. I think those fights could even last like, you know, multiple 5, 6 turns, 7 turns, right? But beyond that, it's like we got Cell Max fight, like a 1 phase fight that's like start a turn instantly. We got the Kid Buu fight, which is again like a 5 turn fight, probably. Like Kid Buu just hits you really instantly hard on turn 2, and then like turn 3 you're in Kid Buu, which is very dangerous. All of these fights right here are 2 phases, right? So it's like you really want these characters in a majority of these fights to be strong early on, and most of the time these characters that are strong early on, like again like the Android 17 right here, they do not phase out. Like I said, in terms of like the power. They don't, a lot of times like these characters may not just end up losing power, or maybe if they do, they transform, or they get something in compensation for that. But like this character who had Broly for the first 5 turns, like base Broly is like good, but he's not like crazy. I think these guys like out damage base Broly because of the fact they also have a built-in 52% chance to crit. Well, I'm not gonna say they exactly. I think base Broly with the full crit build will probably still end up doing more damage, but like you guys get the point almost. I feel like, you know, because this character is doing more, and if you also consider the support that they're providing to all allies as well, the amount of damage that they save and the amount of damage they can provide to all allies on top of that, like that does also matter if you want to consider that as like damage they provide to the team. Broly's not able to really provide that until again he transforms, and I don't know. I mean, even with the leader skill, like what if I said this team is, is this team like stronger than what this team is? I would still say no, but it rivals it. It does rival it. I think this team is almost as strong as Broly's team because it's just like all the best units in the game here. It does not have Beast Gohan though, right? Or Broly, right? And I think this team is definitely better. But if we're talking about like, you know, a setup specifically, like what setups you could run, this team rivals what Broly's team could have. I mean, Broly's team doesn't have like UI Goku, or I don't think it has STR UI Goku, right? Which STR UI, I would not say is like crazy, but still. I don't know. Again, it's just a thing where early on this guy is just going to be better, and that's kind of going to be a big driving force for a lot of these characters. So I would say, again, I have this guy over Broly. We'll go ahead and do this here. Continuing on, the Gamas. I think, again, the thing about the Gamas that I like about Broly and, you know, Bootanks is I think that they can get their really strong power really quickly into the fight. Like, even like turn 3, they can get into the Standby mode right here. Could be very good. Turn 5, you can see this. And, like the amount of defense this guy could have with this 80% reduction is just nasty. I feel like though, again, I think this is a different reason. I think the androids are better, and it's just a very small reason. Well, I want to say this small. This, like, if we compare their supporting abilities, this character again, turn 5 can provide the 2-turn 50% support buff. I might actually like this better, considering the fact that it's turn 1, right? As a turn 1 support buff right there. Another thing about this character is I feel like they actually might be a little tankier than these guys. Are they? Because they have higher stats in here, right? In their passive skill. I don't know. I feel like no, these guys are probably tankier because 80% reduction is so high, but you also have to keep in mind that you need to get in or STR keyspheres. Sometimes you can't get that max amount of damage reduction, and maybe there's certain situations where you're under 30% HP. I don't think that's going to be too often, but that could potentially happen, I guess. And I think that androids are better than what these two are early on, especially this guy can get caught in some of these early fights, right? I mean, to be fair, the fight that they got caught in, I saw a screenshot of that. They could not get the reduction and they were type disadvantaged, but still, I think they could take a lot of damage in that, like Blue Cow can Evolution Vegeta fight. I'm not going to hold it against them because they are type disadvantaged, but still, I think I'm going to say I like the androids better as well than this guy. Damage is also another thing. These guys are just also better damage-wise. What I would say these guys probably do end up doing better is consistent support. I do like this, like, just consistent flat 50% support. You're always getting that. That's really nice. I do like, again, the standby. You could theoretically get this like on their first turn, which is really funny. I think they have easy conditions. I think, you know, at times these guys may have a little bit of issues with key. I haven't really, again, experienced too many issues with like getting the, like, again, 2 ints or 2 age or STR. The only times I could potentially experience issues is with this guy getting the 5 int or STR keyspheres. It's not like a common thing, but I feel like it's just way less of a worry for this character to get the rainbow keyspheres and to reach, like, you know, 22 key bare minimum. I feel like it's probably just going to be much easier for these guys to go ahead and get that off, right? One other thing I would say though is this guy could really be ran in any team that they're on, and they're on a lot of these extra teams, whilst these guys are kind of only on this like Universe 7 reps team. So whilst I still would say 17 is better, I'm not gonna say it's that much better. Which is why I would say I actually think, you know, leading down to it, I think 17 is good right here at the 7th spot. I could see an argument of him above Blue Gogeta. Is he better than Blue Gogeta? Nah, that's tough. Because these guys, the thing about Blue Gogeta is that he's like really good with that like target skill. But you know, again, a lot of the thing I've been saying is like this just early on. I might actually do this. The target skill is so good, but I actually think these guys might be better. Because outside of the target skill turn, I like the target skill turn. I think this guy's better for sure. But outside of that, I feel like damage-wise, the Team Universe 7 is better. I feel like what they're providing in terms of support, right? This guy's support as a Brain Warp Changer is really nice. It's better. Honestly, leader skill is probably better. I feel like the biggest thing about this guy is on so many different teams as well. He does have the heal too. The 70% chance to dodge. What you could say is that will age better. But I find this guy in some situations could still end up being a dodge or die character in very certain situations, right? It can happen, but again, you do have the what's it called? I mean, I guess I say specific situations, but like again, super attacks, I think he could just like be dodge or die. Sometimes normals would do damage to this guy. I've seen that myself. But again, I feel like this would be what really would put me above Blue Gogeta above him. But I feel like this is sometimes I just don't even see this anymore in some of these fights that again are true phases, right? One phase Kid Buu, like I haven't seen the target skill in Kid Buu at all, right? I haven't seen the target skill. I guess I have seen it once in Cell Max, but like by that point in the fight, I see he's like stunned, sealed, attack lord, so it doesn't really even matter. You can't really use this in the new Blue Evolution Vegeta fight because he disables dodge, right? You know, unless you're with UI Goku in that fight, this guy's not really gonna get a huge benefit from that. I mean, I guess you'll get potentially the great chance to counter Ki Blast Supers, but you know, I took this guy into the Gogeta Blue fight, and you know, he's taking damage from normals. Sometimes he can't dodge, whilst I feel like this guy just doesn't really have to worry about that ever, even though he's on just that one team. I really do think, yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I think this guy is here at 6. I'm not putting him above UI or Blue Evolution. I think these guys are able to build up relatively fast, and their cap is definitely higher than what Team Universe 7 is providing. I do think that the revive skills they have is actually also pretty simple to get. It's like a thing you can get like on turn 4, even turn 3 situationally, right? I mean, you can even get UI's revive on his first turn. Technically, if you fall under the HP threshold, that's not impossible. You know, this guy early on is guaranteed dodging. This guy early on is guarding, right? Like, they have these abilities to help them survive early on. They have the same leader skills as the Team Universe 7, but just a little better. I probably think that the 4 key is not even necessary, so I just rather would take the extra stats in the extra category. But, yeah, no, I think that's where I would stop. I mean, maybe this is a hot take. Maybe I could see myself turning back later, but I think they're at 6. I think they're better than Blue Gogeta, which is really crazy because I wasn't thinking about this beforehand. I was thinking I was going to have it like this with them at 7, but no, I think this is it. I've seen some people say Blue Gogeta should be higher than UI. I think people who say that maybe haven't played the new events or haven't used UI, right? But that's why I have these two above them. And I think these 3 are in a class of their own. Now, if I was going to do, like, let's say, I don't know, like, just a rank of this, like, let's say I probably would end up doing, like, I guess these 3 would be in their tier, I'm thinking. I think these characters would actually also be in a tier. And then I'm thinking the Gamas, Broly, and then Bootanks. And then I guess we could also put, like, I guess Orange Piccolo could fit in here. I think Blue Falcon Evolution would fit in here, would be in these tiers. But I think this is what I would have in terms of, like, an actual, like, tiered kind of thing right there. So I guess if you want to save that, go ahead. But there you go. I mean, that is Team Universe 7. That's how good I think they're really insane. But yeah, no, I just don't think they match up to the top 5. but they're like right outside of the top 5, man. Crazy powerful EZA. Hopefully the physical Android 17 and Golden Frieza end up being as good as what this guy could be. I mean, this is definitely an anniversary, like even level EZA, Tanabata EZA, whatever you want to say. I mean, this is Tanabata, but you guys get the point. This is an anniversary LR, technically, right, for part 2 of the, 6 year. Let me know what you guys think, where you guys would rank them. Maybe you think I'm overrating these guys. I don't know. Again, maybe I can see in the future this guy move back down if we get like some more long events, but I'm doing this tier list as it is right now, with I think a lot of short events being really dominant right now. Thanks for watching though, and I will catch you all next time.